Since WorkSHARP announced their professional precision adjust system recently, everyone in the knife community has been excited about it, using it, doing reviews. But in today's video, I'm going to look at 3 concerns and issues that I had with the previous generation of the precision adjust system and see if this new iteration has remedied those issues or if they have been drugged into this new design, and what other capabilities or features does this have to either make it an excellent choice for resharpening your blades and tools, or if it falls flat. I want to thank you guys for joining me on this particular episode of Gideon's Tactical. I'm Aaron, and let's dive on in. Now, obviously, right out of the gate, there is a ton of accessories and features that this system comes with, all in one, inclusive, no need for extra add-ons and things, because it starts with a 1-inch wide by 6-inch long abrasion system with 7 different options, starting at 220 grit diamond stones up to 800 on the diamond stones. Then you get a ceramic pad and a leather strop. So I mean, you can take a very damaged edge and bring it back to mirror polish with this entire system, as well as some other features I'll highlight in a moment. But if you're like me and you watch this channel, you know I love big blades, and you probably do too. I have here a Tops Knives Storm Vector that is a 1/4 inch thick and 12 inches long. And the previous generation, its clamp had a very difficult time grabbing 1/4 inch thick blades, and larger blades were very difficult to sharpen on it. This system does remedy that. You can clamp onto 1/4 inch thick blades without difficulty, tighten it down, and it will hold it into place. So I am very pleased to announce that and share with you guys that they have opened up and made the mouth larger on that clamp to be able to accommodate those thicker blades that are even smaller, say a BK2 or an SE5. Those type of blades will be able to be gripped with this clamp and be stable enough to get the sharpening done. Now, the second part is the throw of the arm. The arm is long enough to be able to access all the way down to the tip of a 12-inch blade, and I still have about half the pad to go. I'm saying pad, the real estate of the diamond stone or ceramic rod. So you can even get a slightly larger blade, maybe a 15-inch machete, maybe max might be 18, maybe. There are some 18-inch machetes out there. You might be able to get it all the way out there, but definitely a 1-foot-long cutting edge can easily be honed with this system. But there was an issue with the last generation where you would have to basically be sharpening off the end of a table in order to accommodate the rotation of a large blade like this, because you'd be hitting the table or your workbench where you were sharpening. That makes it a little dangerous. You know, the blade is just exposed out there. You could walk right into it. This also fixes that issue with their adjustment lever on the back, which you can pull up, pivot, it locks it into place, and then you can rotate your extra large blades and then bring it right back down to get the other edge. So those features in conjunction means that this sharpening system can definitely handle those larger blades for you, maintaining that edge, and that is a big, like, desirable point for me. I'm like, okay, concern 1, absolutely remedied, absolutely fixed, and I'm happy to report that to you and me, the users. Now, problem number 2 I had with the old generation was stability. There was just a lot of flex in the overall design, meaning that you wouldn't always keep a consistent angle, particularly when you got into heavier, larger blades. So have they fixed that? I would say they absolutely have, in 3 separate ways. First off is that the arm screws into the mount versus magnetizes into the mount. So the mount is much more stable in that regard, meaning that you can still detach it and remove the pad altogether, and then you can freehand larger tools that won't fit on the clamp, say like an axe, a hatchet. You could potentially even resharpen blades on a lawnmower or other tools that are just oddly shaped that would never fit on any type of sharpening system like this. You can remove it off the rod and then you got freehand capability, but that rod is much more stable than in the previous generation. Followed up by the base itself, which is wider and heavier and denser, meaning that there's just more stability that offers you, whereas the previous generation had a lot of flex and was just really light, and you weren't able to really keep as consistent an angle of resharpening as this new version does. So it remedies that. Then the final piece to the stability puzzle is the support piece. This is a piece of polymer that, if you wish, you can slide underneath the clamp, and that gives it extra support so it will not move at all. Now, I didn't see a need to install this on any of the pocket knives I was doing, and medium, I would say under 12-ounce fixed blades, not necessary at all. On the off chance that you feel like you just want a little extra support to that clamp because of how heavy and maybe long the blade that you're sharpening is, you can install that, and it gives it that extra support, lifting it up like Atlas, lifting up that blade when necessary. So that is really well thought out, and that they gave that to you. Now to concern number 3, and it has to do with high grind angles and thumb studs on your pocket knives. Now, the really nice thing is that this system can handle 15 to 30 degrees on either side. So you got a lot of options. You can dial it down literally to the 1/4 degree, and I'll show you how you can do that in just a moment, which is amazing. But in the previous generation, I found that if I had a pocket knife with a thumb stud, if I brought it below 17 degrees, I could clear with the sweep of the stone my thumb studs on most of my knives. But if I brought it down to 15 degrees, 16 degrees, I started to connect with the thumb stud. I actually wore my Gerber Sedulo on the first model that we tested out on the previous generation. And I couldn't resharpen the entire blade. I either had to give it a little bit of space and not sharpen that little 1/4 inch in line with the thumb stud, or I would have to remove the thumb stud, or I would have to bring it up to 17 degrees on each side to clear the thumb stud. This generation, in this newest version, has the same issue. So if you have a pocket knife that has a thumb stud and you want a 15-degree angle on it, more than likely you will have to take the thumb stud off. So that is something to consider when you are looking at this tool. Now, if you're willing to go with 17 degrees, which is very aggressive, then you're fine, and you won't even ever have to take the thumb stud off. And for me, I don't like taking my thumb studs off. It's a whole nother step I have to take. It requires more tools. I'm probably gonna have to Loctite down the stud again, possibly, and it just becomes a whole nother step that I'm not a big fan of. Now, if the majority of your pocket knives have maybe finger flippers and there's no thumb stud involved, or Spydercos, nail nicks, whatever, there's no issue. You can bring it down to 15 degrees if you want to, and you'll never have any issue. Now, keep into consideration that that's going to be the case with most sharpening systems. If you bring your blade that low, you're just going to be impacting the thumb stud. So that's not necessarily a problem with the system. It's more of something to be aware of when you are going into sharpening a blade with a thumb stud. If you want a 15-degree angle on it, that is going to be a potential problem with any sharpening system, not just this WORKSHARP. So now we got our 3 questions answered. Before I give you my final thoughts and am I going to regularly use this, there are 2 other added aspects to this whole system. One is the digital angle indicator. This alone, if you buy separately from some other company, you know, that you're going to use on some other angle sharpening system, those can be $30 to $50 easily. So that alone being thrown in and comes standard with the system allows you to now get it to a very precise, up to the 1/4 degree angle, and you know consistently what your angle is going to be. That really helps the precision of the sharpening system. The second part is the small knife table. Now, I don't have too many small knives in my collection, but many of us do, and maybe you have that little pen knife that you like carrying around, or that your dad gave to you, or a little blade on, say, a Leatherman Squirt or something like that, that this system has a very difficult time resharpening on its own, but they gave you a secondary platform that makes it very easy to sharpen those very thin, very compact blades with this small sharpening table. It just slides right on where that support piece was that we talked about earlier. Easy to adjust. There's great videos that WORKSHARP produces on exactly how to do that, and I've tested it on a few of my compact blades. It makes it very easy. Now, I appreciate WORKSHARP hooking me up with this model so that I could test it out for you guys, show you what its capabilities are, what the limitations are, to help you determine for yourself, is this the right system? Now, when it comes to pricing, the MSRP is $300, which on its own, when you look at everything, is a great value. Now, the nice thing is that's MSRP. I'm seeing it already on Blade HQ for $250. So the ballpark, once this becomes really accessible, $250. Think about it, that's like what, 2-3 blades in your collection probably, and now you have a lifetime of sharpening ahead of you and you're able to get it really precise. So I think that for the money, What this offers mitigates the problems I had with old systems and is now going to be a system I regularly gravitate to when I need the precision angles. I still love my freehand, and I'll probably do that, particularly on larger blades a lot of the time, just because it's easier for me and I kind of know now by feel what I want, and it's not that difficult for me. But on my pocket knives, particularly on blades that have more premium steel that I really want to keep that consistent angle with, I will absolutely gravitate more to this system than trying to do it freehand or with a belt sharpener. But I look forward to hearing from you guys. What's your thoughts on this system? If you already own one, how has it been performing for you? And if there are questions that maybe I didn't answer throughout this video, please leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer them for you. I appreciate you guys so much for coming over today and checking out this video. I invite you to subscribe again if you haven't. Check out the other video popping up. And until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.